Hey, everybody, welcome back for another episode of The Overlay, a poker podcast brought to you by CCG Poker, Chicagoland's #1 live charity poker experience. I got Brandon on the line. What's up, Brando?
What up?
Welcome to the
Another day in paradise.
Nope. Welcome to the #2 club, bro. Yeah.
Thanks.
Second
Appreciate
place
it.
finishers at circuit events where we got close to a ring, but no cigar. So I did tell you we were going to talk about something else today, but I do want to cover because all the poker players want to know. Brandon, tell us what happened in the PLO event at the WSOP Circuit 2025 November events at the Elgin Grand Victoria.
I had my deepest run ever in a ring event.
Yeah.
Buy-in number 3 was a good buy-in for me. I finally got placed into your table.
You did.
Which had all the chips, all the action, all the fun players, all the cartoon characters.
You were in a good position, too. You were right of me, which was nice.
I was 2 to the right of you, and you had 190,000 from a 25K starting stack.
Yeah.
When I showed up. So
Yeah.
I was in a good spot for Kenny to
punt a
not
little.
that I was abusing it, but it's tough for him to, try and play back and gut me when I got 30K and he's got 180. He's like, I fold, you got it.
Yeah.
He's not trying to chase all the draws or drill a gutter on me where he would maybe somebody else. So that was a nice spot for me. I did run it all the way up and then kind of got a 2-outer hit on me versus one of the fishier guys at the table, and then went all the way back down and had to rebuild it all the way back up. But I played a really big pot at your table and then kind of coasted into the money and then coasted into day one final table. We ended with 8. Yeah, we ended with 8 left on day one, came back basically tied for third in chips. The final table had a couple shorties, which I never understood because we knew that we were only playing 17 levels or whatever, 16 levels.
I think we were playing through 18, but...
So we were on level 18, and all the shorties are like just playing so tight and nobody wants to tiptoe around. And then so they can make this day 2, which to me was extremely inconvenient because we finished at 2:30 all the way up in Elgin, a hot 94 miles from my house. Drove all the way home. I had some work to do on my computer and a sleeping machine to sleep with, so I didn't really want to stay at the Elgin. Had to charge my car, noon start the next day, get on the road by 10 to get up there on time. So for me, a day 2 was rather inconvenient, so I'm glad I was third in chips and not one of these shorties. But then we show up on day 2, and all these shorties just got allergic to their chips. It's like, I got to get rid of them. It's like, why didn't we do this? And on level 18, all of a sudden it's day 2 on level 19, and now we need to get rid of our chips.
Effectively, so you have less chips, and you just waited a whole night of sleep. Maybe they just wanted to get some sleep in there? I don't know.
Maybe, but 2 of the guys were like, it's noon. I want to get out of here by 12:30 so I don't hit traffic. I'm like,
that's great.
Why didn't you just want to give it up last night?
Do you know when there else is no traffic? Oh, yeah, in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock in the morning. There's not a soul out there.
That's true.
That's great traffic time to drive.
So we went 8 to 5 relatively quick, and then the final 5 was a battle. The final 4 was a battle. There was 3.2 million in play. There was a time when it was like 800, 700, 900.
Wow.
So I mean, it was anybody's game. There was no shorties, and there was a couple. To my straight left was a 5-time ring winner who just came off a PLO victory the previous week at the previous circuit stop.
Who was
then
that?
There was another good guy. I don't know his name. I think it was at Choctaw.
Is that the guy with the quad 5s?
That was the quad 5s chain guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was another really good player at the table that I know plays like 10K and 25K PLO buy-ins. And I played some high stakes cash games with him. And he's just known as one of Chicagoland's better PLO players.
Correct.
So the final 4 was pretty tough. And then there was the other kid who ended up winning. So then we got down to 3. We got that 25K PLO player, Eddie out. And then there was 3 left. And then again, 3.2 million. It was like 1 million to 1.1 to 1.1. So just anybody's game
again,
in the final
back to
3.
square one.
Basically just a 3-man sit and go. Million in chips each, winner take all. Not winner take all, but
yeah.
I mean, the pay jumps were decently significant.
Ridiculous.
It was like 7,200, then 11K, then 16K, some last out money, and a Bahamas package. So, there was a really big heads up match for when we got heads up. And then the guy to my left, the quad fives guy, as you know him, and the 5-time ring winner, he kind of got a little bit short. I don't know if he got tired. He was playing so tight, so solid. The blinds did get kind of high. But I was showing down. I ran decently good. I'm not going to lie. Like, I flopped 3 boats. Like,
right.
It just seems like when I was betting the river, like I just had it. Like, kind of the whole entire final table was just like me getting value from my good hands, which is kind of rare and a great feeling, honestly.
Yeah.
And once again, I played back in him on the flop, and he kind of got it in with a suspect hand. And not only was it a suspect hand, up against my hand, he only had 2 outs to win and then 3 more outs to chop. So he got it in for PLO. That's kind of as bad as you can get it in on a flop. Yeah. With 2, he basically needed to hit the pair in his hand to make a set, or hit his other dangler to make the same 2 pair as me.
Right.
So he was
in a chop. Right.
Which would have been a chop. So he was kind of cooked, and it was kind of a punt, and he played really well so well. Like, he went 90K to $1 million in the final. Like, he was down to 5 big blinds and like still just battling, waiting for a spot, and got his spot, and obviously had to run. He won a 3-way all in, but still, like, he got it in good. It was just like, for him to just kind of give me 700K in chips was kind of awesome. So now we're heads up, and then the heads up started basically 2 million, 1 million me, and I won the first 3 hands, and it was 2.7 million to 500K me, and I was at this point just like, geez, I just like could just steamroll this thing and win. Yeah. And like kind of felt like it was just the stars just kind of align, and somebody's just got to run good. And for the last hour of the tournament, it was just me running good and picking up hands, and then I picked off 1 bluff, and every time they called me, I was just full house, not flush. And then 10 hands later, I was out.
Heads up. You got second.
I got bad. Second. It was not bad. The guy kind of won a few hands in a row. He won the big all in. Well, not a big all in. I had him all in with a wrap. He did flop a set, which is kind of unfortunate, but it was basically 57-43. I was the 43, and I did end up hitting a flush on the river, but it paired the board. Neither of us saw it. I was like, oh my God, a spade. I just won. I'm like, nope, that's the 8 of spades. He wins. So then it was 2 million, 1 million, and then he kind of took it back, and then it was 2 million, 1 million him. And he kind of had all the momentum, and then he kind of got into a spot where I just got in with aces, and aces in PLO, heads up. It's good no matter what your other 2 cards are. I mean, I don't need to tell you what he had, what I had. I had ace, ace, XX, and he had a good hand, but not against aces.
I don't know if it was worth pot.
So he kind of just was like
pot kind of thing. Where
right. He kind of was just like, screw it. This is my chance to try and win the tournament.
I'd have raised. So, if I got 3-bet, I would have just called, seen the flop. Not as it turns out, if he'd have saw the flop, you guys would have got it all in anyways. So
yeah, we would have got it all in anyways on the flop.
But it would have been a better play.
It would have been a better play.
Yeah.
It would have been a better play for sure. But, to get just 1.1 million each in pre. So if I win that, I'm back to the 2-1 chip lead. We would have swapped him 2-1 to me 2-1. And then he just ran out of flush on the river, and that was kind of it. And, I saw it all just crumble before my eyes. And the whole heads up lasted like 15 hands. Now, it's not even, the blinds were decently high, but it was more so just like, we kind of had really good hands clash against each other. It was just like I showed a few pictures of the final hands, and my buddy was just like, all those hands kind of play themselves. It just kind of sucks that you lost all of them.
You were on the losing end of 3.
Of 3 straight. Yeah. Basically, 60-40, I lost as the 40. 50-50, I lost as the 50. And 70-30, I lost as the 70.
Correct.
And it's just like, you ain't going to win a tournament when you lose 3 of those in a row. Heads up.
Nope.
Regardless with
I don't care who
the
you
chips. Yep. So second place, 11K. We did chop a little bit of the last outs out. That was kind of cool. He did get the Bahamas package, which I wanted, and the ring more so than the extra 5K for the pay jump. But good showing overall. I felt like it was my tournament to win. And then, the luck just kind of turned at the end, which happens a lot in heads up.
It does.
And people are like, oh, 2.7 million to 500K. How do you ever lose? And it's like,
you just explained it.
I just explained it. It's pretty easy. You lose a couple in a row.
3 all-ins, and the next thing you know, you're on the short end of the stacks, you know?
So, but I had fun. It was a good experience. I'm glad. I was kind of happy that I battled through the fourth and third place. Like, I always felt like in the past I would just get fourth there, like 800, 800K, everyone's even, and I just blow it. Because I just get outplayed or I just miss my draw. So it was kind of fun to actually like get the heads up, which I know going from fourth to second doesn't mean too much. And, you didn't win, so it's not the best feeling. But I was decently happy with the outcome in terms of how I ran and how I played, feel like was overall good. So it was a good experience.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I mean, it was funny. I was telling my wife about it, and she's like, "Oh, is he happy?" I was like, "No, he's pissed." And she's like, "How could he be mad? Like he won money, like he got second place. That's so awesome." I, by the way, got 12th place.
You did,
which was fun.
You were about 15 minutes from making the final, and Kenny said, "I ain't coming back unless I got chips."
I want to say this, and right or wrong, good or bad. I don't know which end it is. I don't care what my chip stack is when those types of areas hit. Like when the bubble hit, I was pumping. I was just playing more hands. I was getting jiggy with it, splashing around, trying to get, because so many people get so set on, I want to cash, I want to cash, I want to cash. I don't want to be the legitimate bubble. Lots of people say, oh, I bubbled and you got 30th place and top 20 got paid out. Like, yes, that's close to the bubble, but that's not the bubble. Like when you get down to hand for hand in the WSOP and any big tournament like that where they're going hand for hand, and I mean, you don't want to be the guy who gets busted 21st and doesn't get any money and just has to walk out of there it's the walk of shame of walk of shames, But I love pressing a little bit, and I don't understand the mentality of, well, I just want to grind through and say I made day 2. To me, I would rather get out or build a bigger chip stack, and maybe that's the wrong.
No, and well, especially the way that, and many of you listeners have all played a ring event. I'm sure many of you have cashed. If you listen to the advice from me, not so much Kenny, but
correct.
If you listen to our advice, you had to have cashed. There is kind of a second tournament that starts once you enter the money, right, because the payouts are so flat when they pay out 15% that getting 20th and getting 8th is damn near the same thing.
Well, I will tell you, 20th place paid
$12.80.
1220.
Okay.
Because I got 12th place, which was $12.80, and that was 2 pay jumps up. Like that was 2 ladder ups. Like it went to like $12.50, and then it went to like $12.80, and then like 9th place was like.
No, I know 8th place was $18.20.
Okay,
because I was coming back to $18.20 only, and I was in for 3 bullets of $1,800. Well, 600, 600, 600.
Yeah. Well, I remember.
So right there, 20th to 8th is only from $12.20 to $18.20. $600. One buy-in level up, like one X.
20th to the 8 players left. Yeah, at my point, to me, that $300 is not worth waiting and grinding. And I'm not saying I straight up punted, but in the same token, you gotta still press a little bit. And a lot of people
you need to
you
need to get in a position to win the tournament, not to go from 20th to 8th and then bust.
Correct.
Staying tight and stagnant and with your 10 big blind stack and just laddering. There's no ladders. It's going up a ladder where the step is 4 inches above the next step. It's going to take you forever to get to the damn roof. You know what I mean? You got to really.
There's no ICM, right? There's no ICM pressure at that point because there's no difference between 20th and 9th is, $1,500. Yes, it's $220 difference, but who gives a shit? It's $220. It's
a $600 buy-in. It's not like it's a $220 difference in a $20 buy-in.
Correct.
It's a $600 buy-in. We're talking about a third of a unit size here.
Right. Press a little bit. Because I won a bunch of hands uncontested where I would just raise with 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 suits. And I'm not really considering my diamonds and hearts there to be winners, right? 9 times out of 10, you're going to get lucky if one of those flush draws is good. You're certainly not going to play it like that flush draw is good if you act that.
No, you're playing those with the blockers in addition to what you have, yeah.
And I don't know what the flop's going to be, but under the gun, I'm opening, 3X, fold. And I'm like, man, I literally have, 50,000 in chips, and I'm opening to, 20,000. I only have 30K behind. this is a stop and go play. Like, I don't have a lot of options here.
Right.
Like,
You're hoping to flop a pair and a gutter and get it in.
Get it in. Like, I'm really getting it in unless I totally whiff the flop. You know, if I got low cards and it's all face cards, then maybe I would punt.
King, jack.
Full well knowing too, I'm doing this when I'm close to the blinds where it's like, I need that ante and those 2 blinds. Like, I need those. Like, that's almost, a 50%.
That's a whole nother orbit.
It's a 50%
that's a whole nother orbit you can survive.
Correct. So it is what it is. But it was a great tournament. I had a ton of fun. I think the WSOP does an incredible job with it. And, I love how they did the redraw at 21 players. They did a redraw at 18 players, and then obviously they redraw at the final table. And it was funny. I said to the dealer, I was kind of making a joke, and I was like, "Oh, do they redraw at 18?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Do they do it again at 9?" He's like, "Yeah, no, they redraw at 9." And I was like, "Obviously they redraw at the final table." He totally missed it. He's like, shut up, keep. It was really funny. And I made that comment, and then the very next hand, the bubble burst. I had aces and 8s, 1 suit. Guy goes all in. I raised to try to isolate to just me and the other guy. He ended up having kings double suited as well. And then there was a gentleman that 5 times ring winner. He got it. He raised me with like Jack 3, 5, 5. Now, granted, I had a fairly small stack, and the guy who went all in only had like 2 big blinds. So like I don't even know if it was enough to actually raise. And he ends up flopping quad 5s, and I called the whole way down thinking, my hero call is going to be good. I'm going to win with aces. I didn't, but I did get second place. So even if I would have gotten knocked out of that hand, I would have been 20th. So I was totally fine with that as well. But he did make a value bet at the end that I was able to call like half of my stack and be like, maybe I'm good here. I was like, there's so much value in me calling here. But oddly enough, it was never, I should have folded. Like, I should have known better. But my hero calls never work out.
No, you're not a hero.
I am not the hero in this story. Okay, our podcast episode of the day, besides Brandon's recap of his second place finish at the WSOP PLO event, we're going to talk today about something that's very important. Most annoying things that poker players do at the table. I thought this was fun. I saw an article on poker.org that was talking about annoying things that players do. And I thought that would be a fun thing to talk about, because a lot of these things a lot of players do. And I don't even know if they know that they're slightly annoying, like oblivious to the annoying factors of it.
Even though like a dealer's making a passive aggressive comment and like 2 players are rolling their eyes and they just are still oblivious to the fact that like.
And it's funny when you mentioned earlier, you're like, oh, you got lucky in getting into that super fun table, which was very aggro, tons of fun. People were laughing, having a good time. Like there was no like bitching about, I can't believe you made that call, or or you can't believe you raised with that. Like that wasn't a thing that happened at that table. We were all having fun and kind of splashing around and enjoying.
Except for the one annoying guy, right? That I in the one seat.
And I mean,
and he was very isolated as like the one guy that everybody was like, well, you're clearly the oddball here.
Correct.
Like
loosen
up.
You should ask for a different table because,
right.
And he probably is getting annoyed by the fact because that's not the game that he wants to play. He wants to play the tight, aggressive player. And sometimes in PLO, that's really not a great way to play. Like it's hard to build a chip stack, especially early in the tournament when you can re-enter,
Correct.
Okay, Brando, what would be your most annoying thing that you find at poker tables? From other players, not from
like, is this different from a pet peeve, or those?
It can be either. It can be either.
Same?
Yeah, either one's fine. Do one of
All
each.
right. Well, I'll go with an easy mainstream one, and then I'll go with like my niche annoyingness. I am most annoyed when players set their bets, raises their checks in front of their cards, 1 inch in front of their cards.
Right.
Especially in the 3 seat and 7 seat. And the dealer can clearly not reach it, and you do it for 7 hours straight.
Because all it does is slow down the game. And it's so tilting.
It's so tilting. And like I end up just sitting next to the person and just like taking my open hand and like pushing it towards it.
Right.
Like in a overly dramatic way,
right.
Saying like, hey, buddy, put them up there a little more without actually saying that. And then the next hand will just do the same thing. And yet again, the dealer is reaching, and a lot of them have short arms or big bellies or the table. I mean, it's kind of like a one size fits all table and chair, and there's a lot of different size dealers. So clearly, if you got a 5'6" chubby guy with short arms, you're going to need to throw him out there a little bit more,
right?
And just a little bit of awareness, or a little bit of I like to almost take my chips and like kind of fling them in there.
Right.
But flat.
On the flip side of that, sometimes that can be a little annoying when you're like throwing them into the pot and the dealer has to like catch them and wrangle them and pull them in. So that's
the thing. You got to have a good, you need to have a good,
you got to have a good toss.
A good toss,
right,
where it's flat and it never rolls, and right, it kind of, it's a little shorter, not hard, kind of where it's going to bounce into their hand, like a bounce and then stop right where their hand would be, not where they have to like physically stop them.
Right.
So, yeah, there's the fine line between just like chucking them at the dealer and setting them 1 inch in front of your cards.
Which they do frown upon. I got in trouble at the WSOP for throwing chips at the dealer. I knew him, so it was fine. It was a little game we were having. But definitely they were like, sir, you can't throw the chips at the dealer. I was like, why not? They're my chips. I'll do what I want.
Or like, especially if I'm folding my blinds to a raise, I'm folding my hand and then flinging my blinds in closer to him so he doesn't have to reach out and grab my blinds.
Yeah.
Same thing with the big blind ante. There's some people that just like, if the blinds are 5K, 10K, they'll just stack 20K out there and make the dealer like grab 10 of it off and move it. Like, I put my big blind out and then I fire my ante in there.
I will say one of the annoying things that kind of goes with that idea of like, players should be making change themselves and shouldn't be making the dealer do it, in the sense of, if you're the big blind, especially in the big blind, one of my most top annoying things is when, if it's like 1,200 and the guy's got no black chips, like ask the person at the table that's nearest you, like your half of the table, like get 10 blacks so that you can put the big blind out there by itself, because the dealer can't start the hand until the big blind's in there, or the ante's in there as well. Like, you're just slowing down the game. Like,
and even more so, you should be asking
the dealer
for that change when you're under the gun or under the gun plus one. Two hands before, like in preparation. Like, I'm gonna have to put 1,200 out here, and I have one black. What am I gonna do?
But again, you have to do it when, like, obviously, like if you were in the hand and you had all the blacks and you're in the middle of a pot, I wouldn't ask you at that particular moment for black chips. Right?
Of course not.
Yeah, you would think so. But like, these are things that definitely need to be said, because I saw it a couple times where I'm like, dude, the guy's in a hand. And then the problem is, like, then he's like cutting out chips to like give change to this goofus. I would have been like after the hand, or I would have said something. But then it's like, well, why can't you just give them to me now? Like, then the person's mad at you. Like, they're oblivious to the fact that they shouldn't be asking it anyways. But then it's like you're cutting out chips to make change, and then the person that's like the other guy in the hand's like trying to figure out, like, it slows down the whole game. Like,
clearly you just ask the guy when he's not in the hand, or like when the dealer is shuffling, when there's no hand going on.
Get it right there and be prepared.
Fling a purple, get 5 black, and then you're good to go. And then,
and if you only have 2 black chips in that scenario, right, and you've got 1,200 in the middle, and then your big blind's 1,200, then put the 1,500, like your orange and your purple, out as the actual big blind, rather than like throwing it in for the ante, which I'm like, why would you do it that way? That is crazy to me. Doesn't make any sense.
And even going one step further, if you're in a pot when you're under the gun and you only have 2 black chips, like, don't bet those black chips on the river, because you're going to need them next hand.
Pay attention.
And pay it, like, just slight little stuff that like 90% of people are completely oblivious about, but it ends up just like costing 15 seconds or costing you to talk to, I mean, there's just like multiple things that could be avoided if you just had a little bit of self-awareness of your chip stack, where the button's at, and what you're required to do in the next 3 hands.
Yes. That's a good one. You said that there was something besides like an annoying part. You said something that's like something that personally bothers you. Did you mention that one, or?
No, I haven't. Okay. I was going to give you an opportunity to go for your mainstream one, and I was going to come back to that one.
My mainstream one to me is just players that, and it sounds so silly to say, it's the slow playing, the constant thinking, the talking to yourself about what. I'm like, dude, it's you got 80,000 in chips, the blinds or the bet's 3,000, like. Everybody should take time to figure out your hand, but it's also should be relative. Like, you're not a short stack deciding what you're going to do. Like, you've got, 200 big blinds and you're facing a 3 big blind bet. Like, make your decision a little bit faster. Like a minute of deciding what to do and then folding. It's like, good Lord, man, what are you doing? And then the very next hand, same thing. Like every opening bet has been 3 times. Like it's the standard opening, like especially in pot limit, like there's not a lot of changes, right? Like everybody knows, like, you know, whatever the blinds are, like the kind of standard opening bet is, you know, X, whatever it is. So like, you know what's coming, right? I just don't understand the constant slow playing of thinking for 45 to 90 seconds every action. It's like, for the love of Christ, like play a little bit faster. Like that's not helping anybody personally.
I agree. I even had, and even more so when it's like a hand pre-flop, or if they're like deciding on it, even if it's like an all-in situation that they're facing, especially in Omaha, like there isn't that much to think about in terms of like I mean, this is even at the final table, and it was a 3-way all-in with 6 left, and the guy went into the tank because he got it was Shorty went all in, and then he flatted, and then the other guy re-ISO'd, and then it was like the chip leader deciding if he was going to call off and, you know, have a 3-way all in, and how much he had. I mean, the math was pretty simple. It was $400K to win $1 million. Like that's 2.5 to 1. Like that takes whatever 2 seconds to figure out. Right. Okay, and then it was like he had whatever he had. I think he had like ace, king, jack, 6 double suited. It's like he went in the tank for like 5 minutes.
To me, that's
it's like you aren't even thinking. Like I understand it's a huge spot in the tournament,
right?
But like you aren't even thinking about anything. Like you are just sitting there deciding whether or not you want to gamble with this hand or not. Especially pre-flop in Omaha, it's like, okay, well, if he ISOs all of his aces and kings, you know what I mean? Like there is not enough math or decision making or range elimination to like do. Like you're going to be like 3 ways. You're going to be somewhere between 30% or 40% with this hand, depending on what they show.
Right.
And like you can't even like figure out a range. Well, is he reshoving ace, jack, 10, 6? Like you don't. There's too many combinations of hands. It's just like. Does he? I mean, obviously, he does it with all of his aces. He does it with his good kings, and he does it with his high rundown hands. Where does ace, king, jack, 6 double suited fall against those range of hands? Yes or no? Go.
Right.
And it was like, you know what I mean? Like there is no gamble. Like there, especially pre-flop. There's so much. There's 5 cards and you're facing. There's going to be a flop, a turn, a river, and you're facing 8 random cards. Like you're never going to be able to figure out by thinking for 5 more minutes if it's a good call or a bad call.
No.
It's just like, do you want to gamble and be anywhere between 28 and 40%? Sometimes you're going to be a slight dog. Sometimes you're going to be a slight favorite. Either way,
that's what you're hoping for. That's your best case scenario.
Right. You're going to be 40% if it's best case scenario and 28% if it's worst case scenario. And we don't need to think. It's just whether or not you want to gamble based on the math for, you know what I mean? He just sat there and tanked and re-looked and then, you know, sized out his chips and then see how much he had left. And like this math is like, this is a 30-second to 1 minute decision.
Correct. 5 minutes is too long.
5 minutes is too long, even at the final table with 6 left. I couldn't imagine, you know, like you said, these spots when registration's still open.
Correct.
And
like
they have 200 big blinds.
It's too much, guys. Like, let's speed the game along here. Do you want to gamble? Do you not? Are you, it's like, and the guy even says, the registration's still open? Yeah, we all know registration's open. Like, every single person at this table knows they got another bullet in the chamber if they have to. So, like let's just get it done, you know?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm kind of looking for those spots because I ended up busting in a PLO tournament where I knew I was screwed. Like I did not have a hand that I could beat very many people. I'm going to need a very specific flop and hope that I'm good. But then it's like, all right, I'm getting 6-1 of my money here. Like if I want a chance of winning this tournament, like now is a great opportunity as a shorty, like getting close to the money, like, you're 3 spots away from the money. Like this is a spot I need to take. Like, and I lost and it was fine. And I was totally okay with it. I was willing to, the amount I'm getting on my chips, 5-1 on my chips. Like I'm good. Like I'm okay.
Right.
With
I mean, you're mathematically in favor if you're 20%, and that means 20% you're going to lose 4 out of 5 times.
Right.
But it doesn't matter because mathematically,
but if I win, I'm right back in the tournament, and like that's what I want, and I'm okay with that, and I know it's a gamble, and I'm good with it, and that's fine. Like, I don't need to sit there for 5 minutes and just like him and Haw Hollywooding it up. Like, nobody's watching this. Like, it's not on TV. And even if it was on TV, who gives a shit? Like, everybody at home's going, get it in there. Like, they want to see gambling too. Like, we all want to see I don't know. I personally love to watch TV and watch aces get cracked. I don't want to watch TV and root for the guy with aces. I want to root for the guy who's got 7-8 suited. Like, that's what I'm rooting for. I want to see him get in there and win.
I think to sum up this entire thing, it's more so of them just taking time when they can't be thinking about anything.
Right.
It's their thought processes is like, I don't know if I'm good or not. Should I call? And like, that's the extent of their analysis. And they're just like taking time to make a decision in a vacuum. That's it. Like, it's like yes or no. And they don't know which one to choose, but it's not based on anything mathematically or theoretically.
Right. There's no range chart that you're thinking about in your head. There's no position you can be in.
It's just like, I don't know if I want to say the word call or the word fold.
Right.
And they're just taking 3 minutes to like blurt out one of those words.
It's like decision paralysis is what it is. It's like they don't want to have to make the decision. It's like, just do it. And then it's like they end up folding like, I should have called. I would have been good. Which actually brings me to one of my next top things. I'm on Google right now, and it's most annoying behaviors at the table. Number one is slow rolling. I don't think that should be even announced. We all know it's annoying. It happens a lot, and I think it happens a lot in PLO, where people are like embarrassed to show their cards. Like, don't be embarrassed. Like, you've played it this long, nobody cares. Like, great hand or bad hand, like whatever. They're your chips. Play it how you want, as long as you played it quickly and you didn't slow roll anybody. Who gives a shit? You know, it's fine.
Correct.
Taking too long to act. And I love the description of this one. Deliberately delaying a decision for an excessive amount of time, especially for small pots. Like, the small pot thing really gets me. In your case scenario, I can understand 1 to 2 minutes is kind of like the maximum there, right? Like, I get it. There's 6 players left in the tournament. This is kind of a big ladder up because in those payouts, like, the real jumps didn't happen until like 5th, 4th, 3rd. Like, they did get a lot bigger at that point where you're actually thinking about, well, maybe I fold and hope somebody gets knocked out and I ladder up, and like, that's a good thing. I get that, but 5 minutes for that is just too terribly much. But I love the next one, number 3, complaining, whining about bad beats or the unfairness of a particular hand. Like, the complaining thing, I do not understand. I don't understand complaining at the poker table. We all have cards. Anytime you play at the tournament, you are going to take bad beats. It's our favorite line that Maria Ho says, you build a big chip stack so that you can lose big pots and still be in the tournament. And when you lose those big pots, you probably got screwed. I mean, the biggest pot of my life, I flopped a set of kings, king, queen, 7. The guy flopped an underset, 7s, and had a queen, which kind of sucks for him because it's less, not that he's looking for outs at that point. He needs a 7, but he had a queen. Turns a queen. So now I top boat, kings over queens, right? I mean, granted, am I worried about pocket queens? Not really, but maybe I should have been. River ends up being another 7. I bet he raises, and I had a huge chip stack, and I called thinking, if you got 7s here, buddy, like, you win. Like, you beat me. I'm not good enough to fold that, especially in a tournament where I don't know how these guys play. And this guy was not an incredible PLO player. It wasn't like it was Alex Foxen or something who was at my table. Like, this is just a regular Joe like me. Like, it's one of those hands where it is what it is. Like, I didn't complain about it. The guy hit a legit 1-outer. Technically, he had 2 outs because he could have hit a queen or a king or 7 on the river to beat me. And it is what it is. But even if an ace fell then and he had pocket aces and called the whole way down, because I bet it the whole way like I had kings. Like, there's no doubt anybody at the table, nobody needed to see my hand to know I had pocket kings. I could have flipped them over. Everybody knew I raised pre-flop pot. King comes out, I bet pot. Turn comes out, I bet pot. Like, I'm not betting anything else other than a set of kings here, you know? It's just not.
Correct.
To be calling there with 7s, like, you are not good. Like, it's never going to happen unless you get that miracle 7 on the river, which happened. But what good does it do for me to bitch? Like, how do you fucking call? Like, you know I have kings. Like, you idiot. Da, da, da. Like, I don't understand that mentality of poker players that get so angry and upset about a bad beat. Like, you want bad beats. You want that person to call over and over and over again because, shit, if you got him dead to 2 outs, that's amazing. And he's calling pot-sized bets the whole way. Perfect. That's the guy you want in your table. I want him at my table. And I don't care if I'm going to lose 1 out of however many hands. How many hands do I lose there, Brandon? There's 2 outs left.
5%, 1 in 20.
Yeah, 1 in 20. Like, I want that player. I will take my 19 to 1 advantage there every single time. And in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, I just hope that he doesn't give those chips away to somebody else before I get an opportunity to win them back.
Well, that's the thing. When people start playing bad and they get lucky on you, I understand it's annoying, but like it's just math. Like like somebody said it best. There really is no luck. It's all just math.
Right.
And like unfortunately, like 5% has to happen 5% of the time. Like that's math.
Right.
Like there is no math without you losing 5% of the time. So like get over it. This was the 5% of the time. And I get it. There's like, you want there's situationals where you want those to happen in a $20 early bird, not the $10,000 main event. And like that's but at the same time, it's like, getting worked up and getting annoyed and getting frustrated. And like, especially when you're clapping back you're putting yourself on tilt, so you're not going to play any good. And then second, you're just like, you're embarrassing yourself a little bit too. And third, you're clapping back at the guy who's playing bad and you want him to play bad.
Correct.
And now you're like embarrassing him. And you know what I mean? It's just like, it's a lose situation. And it shows that you can't control your emotions. And it shows that you're kind of an asshole that you're willing to like call this guy bad in front of everybody. And at the same time, you're like, giving a lesson, which I'm sure that's on your list too, of like giving poker lessons.
It's not
like,
in the top ones, but it's in the other annoying habits of giving lessons, constantly offering unsolicited advice or trying to teach other players how to play. Like
why are you teaching?
No.
Do you think in Major League Baseball World Series, the catcher's sitting back there like, hey man, like his curveball goes 12-6, or it goes left or right 7 inches. So like when it comes, like you shouldn't be swinging high. You should be swinging low and outside because it's going to go. Right. No, that's idiotic. They don't do that.
No.
It's the
Let
same
them whiff.
Thing. It's poker. Let them whiff.
Right.
Let them do it.
I mean, in the long run,
just because he hit it one time on you doesn't mean you're not going to do it 15 more times.
Correct.
It's. I mean, in that tournament, that I don't want to keep going with hands, but remember, I got it in with that nice Asian gentleman, middle set of tens versus his top 2, queen 10.
Yep.
And he turned a queen for a massive pot.
Yep.
And this is the guy that like is the fish, and like you're supposed to give all the chips to me in this spot, and like he just drilled a 2-outer. But Maria Ho said it best. I built a $150K stack so I can lose that massive pot and still have $35K. Right. And I was crippled, but I was still in, and I ran that 35 all the way back up. Because like that, I won a gazillion pots off that guy. I mean, I knocked that guy out of the tournament. He got 6th place, and he was like afterwards, he's like, "You were my kryptonite."
Yep.
And I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, you did drill me you should have been out, a day ago. But you're right. I mean, I did win 22 of the 24 pots.
Right.
But the one you won was added up to all the ones I won.
Massive pot.
For sure. But at the same time, it's just like
pot.
Right when the registration was still open.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, we were 4-handed with $800K each. So $300K when registration open that's
a lot.
It's quite a chunk of change.
It's a lot.
And I didn't bitch. I didn't complain. I mean, I know you were just like, oof, that's rough. And I'm like, I mean, of course it has to come. Like I'm.
And I would only say that to you because I know you and we're friends. And I was only saying like, oof, that's a rough one.
For
like,
sure. And again, like. And of course, I texted you. It's like, LOL, a queen has to come.
Right.
But I never told the guy like, what an idiot! You're getting in top 2 there. I had a middle set and a flush draw. Like. You are bad.
You're in trouble.
I was like, nice hand. You win.
Just like the sevens. It's funny. There was a whole other discussion of what to say when you lose a hand and what's appropriate to both say when you win or when you lose. I always find that to be a funny one, but we'll save that for another podcast. I want to keep going. Berating other players, which we talked about. Obviously, your job is to entertain the fish. Don't teach them. Don't berate them. Let them think that was a good play and continue on your game. Like, especially in a cash game. Like, never berate players. Ever, ever, ever should you be yelling at some guy for making a bad call. Like, let him make his bad calls. Like, that's what you want. You want players. Man, I would love to sit at a table where 7 of the guys are making bad calls nonstop. Like, I can see how that's extremely frustrating, especially if you keep getting on the tail end of losing those flips. But, like, that's what you want. You want the bad players in there. Nobody wants a pro in there who's making great decisions and always has
over and over and over again.
Right. I don't want that guy. I want the guy who I should be like, dude, have you ever played Omaha before? Oh, I have a flush. No, sir, you only have 1 club. That's not a flush. You're going to need 2 of them. Angle shoot.
So I got a few more on my list that are a little bit specific, but they're quick.
Okay.
You don't really talk about. I hate when the guy has the headphones on too loud, where like the dealer has to like reiterate what happened.
Yeah.
There is a guy at our PLO player that is infamous for doing this, and all the dealers cannot stand when like he's in a hand and like somebody pots and the dealer says 280, and then it goes to this guy and we're all looking at him and there's $280 displayed, or maybe there's 3 black chips.
Sure.
And he has to pull the headphones out of his ear. How much is it?
All right.
Oh, it's 300? No, it's 280. There's 280 in the pot, and I said 280. Like, there's a point where I don't care if you're listening to headphones.
Right.
And I listen to music as well. But when I'm entering a pot, like, I am discreetly lowering the volume so I know what's going on.
Right.
Or have at least to the point where I can see
1 ear out. Like,
1 ear in, 1 ear out. Just having the music so loud where you're consistently
missing,
not hearing what's going on is very annoying.
Yeah.
As a player, as a dealer, as anybody involved in the game,
right?
It is just like you are really being self-centered here that you need to listen to your music so loud that 8 other people are now staring at you because you want to listen to Metallica.
Master of Puppets.
That's the end of that rant. I have another one that is the player that's like, whoa, I didn't act yet. And they're like, I check. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he's making this huge deal, embarrassing the dealer,
right?
Making this like massive uproar, or even better yet, they like see the turn and then what their action on the flop, only to then check. It's like now we're almost to the angle shooting. Like, I understand that you got skipped, but you're only bringing this up because you want a new turn card now.
Correct.
And like, there's a fine line between like if it's on me, I would just be like, I didn't check, but go ahead.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about it. Like, just take the check. Right. It like disguises your hand better anyways. It's like the guy that's like, whoa, stop on ace 4 and then bets. Like, buddy, you got an ace. Like, you just told everybody.
Right.
You would have been way better off just being like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. Just
you know
don't
what I mean?
Like
blending in with the, the flow of the table, going in flow, and like, especially in spots that like, yeah, you might have got screwed, but like, it could work out just as well for you as it does.
Use it to your
you.
advantage, right?
Right. Use it to your advantage. That, and then my personal all-time.
Oh boy.
Yes, this gets me absolutely fired up. And somebody who's no longer with us used to do this, and I love the man, but this was like my big. I would light him up about this when it's specifically pot limit Omaha. So all you Hold'em guys, you're just gonna have to bear with me here. It's basically when like, whatever happens, there's like a flush draw on the flop, and then like the flush comes in on the turn, and it just goes like check river or whatever. The flush comes in at some point in the hand, and it just goes like check, or even like they bet and you call, and they're like 9 high, and then they flip over a 9 high flush.
Yeah.
It absolutely sends me into oblivion. Like, well, obviously I'm betting the river. I have a flush. I was just announcing how high my flush was.
Right.
Like, no, you just announced that you had 9 freaking high. So I flip over my pair of aces thinking I'm fucking good.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, well, obviously it's a 9 high flush.
Flush.
Right. I mean, like, I'm betting the river. It's obviously a flush. Like that. I mean, if you want to send me into absolute oblivion, because me, that's like part ignorant, part slow roll.
Yeah, I was going to say part slow roll.
It's part slow roll, part like misguiding your hand to get to see my hand.
Right.
It's part angle shooting. Like, it's almost like a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
All in like, it just say you have a 9 high flush. Like, you have to really cut out the word
or
flush.
Just say flush.
Which is damn near the most important statement you can say when announcing your hand is not the 9 high.
Right.
It's definitely the flush part that we need to leave. Like, we're not we're just get to assume that it's a flush. To me, that just, it's just, and it's really only a Hold'em thing because, anybody I was really only a PLO thing because anybody in Hold'em would never say 9 high and flip over 9 high flush because that's too strong of a hand.
Correct.
They're basically saying this is such a weak hand. All I have is the 9 high flush. I don't even know if I'm good here.
Right.
I only got the 9 high. Or it could be any number. Queen. I got queen high flush. Well, or when they say another one that go along with it, like, I got a baby flush.
Right.
And they got a jack high flush, but the ace is out there.
Right.
But that's the third
flush.
nuts.
Right.
Like, there's only 2 better flushes than this.
Right.
Like,
what'd you think I had?
What baby part? Right. There's only 2 better flushes than this, and one of them I'm raising you on the river. So this is only a baby flush to one specific hand.
To my set.
When I have the second nuts.
Right. To my set.
That is it.
Or to my turn straight that got rivered by a flush.
It is just
Well,
Absolutely.
I think today's lesson is to. I think my favorite poker line of all time is to entertain the fish. And if you're doing some of these things as a poker player, you're probably tailing more towards the fish side of things, right? Like if you're a good, fun poker, everybody wants to be. If you want to be invited to games and be a sought after player that people want to play with, you kind of have to not do these things. You got to not be an annoying player. You got to have fun, give action, and enjoy the art of actually just playing the game versus being difficult or doing things. Bad hygiene's another one on the survey says probably would have been one that maybe people didn't have. Bad hygiene's always a tough one to get over because it's like, how do you say it? It's a weird thing for the tournament director to have to get involved with. But
right, it's awkward every way around. The players gotta either A, bear with it, or B, report to somebody else that, hey, you need to go tell this guy that he needs to shower.
Right. Like, how do you do that? Like, that's, I don't know, it's one of those tough ones. But it definitely happens. Don't be the annoying player by, being a fun guy, but man, he stinks. Nobody wants to play with that guy. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode of the Overlay a Poker Podcast. Make sure you check us out on Black Friday. Maybe you're listening to this on Black Friday. It is the largest charity poker event of the year. Early Bird gets upwards of like 400 entrants, which is a wild tournament, but it's a fun day in general. Tons of action, tons of cash games, tons of things going on. It is the poker Super Bowl of the year by far. So come and see us if you're not doing anything the day after Thanksgiving. Other than that, congratulations, Brando, on that second place finish. I know it kind of hurts a little bit, but it's still a nice finish.
Yeah, I can't really be too upset about a second place, but yeah.
I've only been there once, too, and I failed miserably myself. So
right. If I go back-to-back seconds, I'll start tilting.
But, yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But that'll do it for today's episode. Come and see us out at any event in the Chicagoland area. Brando, lead us out of here.
Farewell, everybody. Good luck.
See you next time.